Hello. Oh, I'm Darryl Condon. I'm a partner at HCMA in Vancouver and really pleased to be here to help explain the studio that we put together for this term.
Hi everyone, I'm Madi Fujita. I probably know lots of you. I'm faculty at Sala, and I'll be co-teaching the studio with this team that includes Darryl, myself, and others. We'll show you in a sec.
Yeah, so this is the team. It's the two of us, as well as Melissa Higgs, who's another partner at HCMA. And Melissa and I have taught a series of studios together, and as well as some seminar courses. And she's on vacation right now, so not available to join us, but you'll be seeing plenty of her throughout the term. Do you want to talk about Holly?
Yes, absolutely. And we also have an artist in residence at the City of Vancouver, Holly Schmidt, who will be joining our team and bringing her knowledge of public space and art work in public space to the discussion. So we're really lucky to be collaborating with Holly on this project.
So I've already introduced myself, but you know, I'm really passionate about public space and about what public space means coming out of the pandemic as well. Obviously before, but certainly we've learned a lot, and the studio is going to explore some of that in terms of what you know, what's possible for public space, and what do we want from public space in the future. And as I mentioned, Melissa is one of my partners at HCMA. Is also deeply interested in public space and has been intricately involved in a number of our public space projects, including Alley-oop, which is one of our laneway transformations, as well as land use work and public policy work as well, related to open space and the water as well.
I could talk about Holly a little bit. Holly, as you mentioned, is an artist based in Vancouver, and she is currently the artist in residence at the City of Vancouver. And she is really interested in site-based projects. She really has some projects that talk about how plants communicate, and thinks that this could be a model for how humans could communicate. So there's projects that she's done that talk about people coming together and gathering and education in public spaces. So her the topics that she studies really align well with what we're trying to do with the studio.
Yeah, and I just have to say I'm really excited about Holly's involvement. You know, the challenges of today are interdisciplinary, and you know, architects, designers of public realm, we can't do it on our own. And bringing different voices and different views, you know, obviously users and others, but you know, bringing an artist's mind and view to the challenge as well is really exciting. It's something I think you want to model, because it's something that's really important in practice as well.
Absolutely. And finally, that's me taking a selfie in a kind of reflective stainless steel, polished stainless steel globe in Japan, which is why I look so funny. But I am interested in cities and how cities have been changing and are continuing to change. And so for those of you that have been at Sala before, you know that I've been looking at things like shrinking cities in places undergoing population loss, and how design has been kind of responding to that form of urban change. There's also kind of a series of projects within my portfolio that are thinking about, again, this idea of the city and how it's changing, but really through the lens of the public sphere and what it means to be designers and to operate in the public sphere. So, so yeah, I'm really excited about this studio as an opportunity to kind of continue some of those questions. Last fall, I taught a studio about, you know, the city through the pandemic, And there's some really kind of interesting research that came out of that that I hope will also fold into the studio.
Yeah, so the team is bringing a really diverse set of experiences, which I think will make it, quite a rich and interesting conversation. We're a firm that does a lot of public buildings, a lot of public spaces, laneway transformations like Alley Oop and Ackery's Alley. So we'll be bringing some of that experience and thinking. We're also going to be tapping into the public engagement team at HCMA as well. Through our Director of Social Impact, we do a lot of, I think, really innovative and important work around how to talk to communities and how to bring the user's voice into the process. And so we're going to be bringing that methodology and that spirit into the studio as well.
I think that's amazing that we will have the expertise of HCMA in the studio, and this public engagement team is one of the things I'm really excited for myself learning more about. In terms of Holly, her experience and her knowledge, I mentioned her interest in collaboration, and this is something that this idea of collaboration and engagement is something that's also kind of baked into her methodology. So I think that there's a real like lots of overlaps and support for this kind of inquiry and methodology within the studio. And speaking for myself, I'm just showing a project that would be related to the studio topic. It's a design installation from quite a few years ago, actually. And I think it was 2005, it was installed in a laneway in Vancouver. And at the time, I was one of the founding members of a group, and we kind of wrote this competition, found funding for it, ran a design competition, awarded that competition, got the permits. So really, from zero to the end, really thinking about how we engage the city, engineering, and kind of mechanics of making a design intervention within public space. So it's something that I think is really exciting. There's lots of ways, there's lots of interesting conversations that happen along the way. And I imagine we'll be having those same conversations as we go through the work. And we kind of went through these, Darryl, so maybe I'll just.
Yeah, I think you could just kind of skip ahead. We'll be getting more into this throughout the term and talking about the projects in greater detail.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think the fundamental question that we have is, what is the future of public space in our city? There's been, a great rapid response, really interesting kind of openness to invention and experimentation that the city has gone through from the start of the pandemic. The street activities team led a series of pop-up plazas. I think there's over 20 pop-up plazas that were created quite quickly in the city. Here's one that some of you may recognize near Cambie. And but these pop-up plazas are temporary. They're made of kind of water-filled plastic bollards. So this is not something that was designed with great consideration, and they're not meant to last. Yet there's lots of talk that these spaces may become more permanent. And this is really where the city has asked us to come in and say, what is the future of a place like this? So I keep going, Darryl. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, no, I think you just maybe keep going and
okay. Perfect. Yeah.
And one of the things that we're going to be really interested in exploring is some of the notions of care and what that might mean in various scales. It's a really strong interest of Holly's, and we've been having these really fascinating conversations. And I know for me, I've seen a lot of alignment, like in things that we're doing and we're exploring, but using different different lens or different way of viewing it, and she's bringing this real strong interest in the notion of care. And so again, it's another way of looking at the opportunity and frankly the responsibility of the designer. And so that's going to be a really interesting aspect of the conversations as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Darryl wrote a really beautiful essay titled "The Space Between Us," and really kind of arguing for the importance of building this common social fabric that's also within the public realm. So I think that we'll be really referring to this essay and some of the kind of thoughts within it as we approach this question of what's the future of public space within our city.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of conversations in our firm and concerned about how we move forward, and that we don't embed and accept the aspects of fear that have driven so many of the decisions around public space. And while there's been a legitimate public health need to respond, as we emerge, we want to really hold on to what's really important: the people coming together, helping each other, solving problems, the community, the connections, all of the things that come with it. And so part of what we'll be exploring is how can we use design as a mechanism to really demonstrate what's important, the importance of gathering, the importance of the public realm in the future. So it's for us, it's a really critical issue, and it's a really timely issue as well.
Perfect. I think that's the end of our slides. So the thing that we didn't really emphasize enough, perhaps, Darryl, is the idea that this studio is the first of a year-long project that will ultimately result in a design build project in summer of 2022. So the city has asked us to think about this question, the future of public space, and to intervene on the city with an actual design build project. So sign up for the studio, and you'll be kind of at the beginning of that process, and hopefully stick with us towards the end of it, where we realize some vision or visions for this future.
Yeah, that's a really exciting aspect, and we're gonna look far and wide for inspiration and explore all sorts of possibilities, and but ultimately to be able to then distill that and learn from that, and learn from the collective work of the studio to then see what can actually be built is a really exciting aspect of what we're going to be doing together.
Absolutely. Okay. So thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks, Darryl. It's fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, it's been awesome, and look forward to meeting those that we end up with, and I'm sure it'll be a great term. I know speaking for both Melissa and I, we're really looking forward to it. We've really enjoyed the past opportunities we've had to be involved in studios, but this one's shaping up to be really, really fascinating. So we're really looking forward to it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you.
All right, see you soon.
Bye-bye.